Welcome to Diva Court.
Are you hosting tonight?
I'm hosting tonight.
Cause that ain't right.
We's not canceled.
Welcome to another episode of Diva Court Thanksgiving version.
We're not canceled.
We're not canceled. I'm your host, Marsha Mignon. Y'all hear that? It's time to get the knife, the fork, the cranberry, and what do you call it? Dressing.
I want to dedicate this episode to Juju on that beat.
Juju, we see you. We are dedicating this episode to our number one fan,
Yes, Juju.
We see you out there, and we want to thank you for supporting us every week.
Yes.
Now, we are not responsible for the things we're going to say.
What do we care about your feelings?
Because we believe everything that I have to say.
And now we listen to Dana because she was right about this trial. I'm just going to say.
Look, let me tell you something.
Oh.
This show is still for entertainment purposes only. Now, please look for our episodes every Wednesday, listeners. Subscribe. Join us on Spotify. Apple Podcast.
Apple.
And Google Podcast. Be sure to catch our turkey videos each week. Okay, it's not turkey videos. It's just videos, okay? On YouTube.
This is what it sounds like.
This turkey over here is not sounding like a real turkey. She sounds like a turkey that's getting slaughtered.
For the slaughtering.
But check out our videos on YouTube every Wednesday where we push them out for you.
Real good.
Don't forget our sponsor, Hey Curl.
Hey, girl.
HeyCurl.shop is where you go to get your beauty. Go to the link and click the description and take your survey. You can't beat free with your DIVAFREE code.
Facts.
HeyCurl.shop.
Hey, girl. Hey.
Okay, let's get to what you've been waiting on.
Yes.
The Kyle Rittenhouse verdict listeners.
Yes. I want to clarify something for the record. Last week I was so, and that video, because I saw this, yeah, it was not the right video. But hey, I was wrong, and I admit.
I've been telling this diva to do her homework.
I was watching them out of the timeline. But the sentiment was still the same because he ran away and he was being chased. And my verdict of not guilty was correct.
Well, if I'm on
just saying.
appellate court, this diva is going to reverse that ruling.
Can you do that?
Yes, you can. You
I
can
thought you can. I thought double jeopardy attached.
Hold a second.
Well-
Double jeopardy does attach.
Okay.
But I said this is diva court, not real court.
So in real life, they can't take that up.
No, but diva court can say, I don't like it. And this judge on diva court says, convicted. I am so disappointed with that verdict.
Well, be disappointed with the prosecution, not with the verdict. Because the verdict was
I am
due to the
disappointed
prosecution.
with the entire thing. But let me tell you something. That judge was the foreman of that jury. He might as well had taken off the rule, gone into the back room, sat down and had lunch with the jurors. I mean, he did so many things that are inappropriate, and I hope he's watching Diva Court so that I can help school him.
Well, I'm not mad at the judge because, like I've said plenty of times, the state has the money, they have the resources, you tend to have the judge, they make the
Tend to have the judge. They
tend to-
usually always have the judge.
Well, there you go. They make the judge's schedule sometimes. Like, all right, judge, we're gonna do this on this day. Da, 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 da. It's just so pro state that one time the judges on the defense side, I ain't mad about it. Usually they be going out to dinner, hanging
Well,
out on
let
the
me ask
weekends.
you a question.
The offices are next to each other. It's just always so against the defense that unless it's clear cut, I don't really feel bad.
Let me ask you a question. Why should I give Kyle a pass when everybody still think OJ is guilty? Huh?
Well, OJ
Was his not guilty verdict a not guilty verdict?
he got a not guilty because OJ said he wasn't black.
Oh, that's why he got a not guilty? I thought it was the 12 black jurors who gave him the not guilty.
But OJ still said he wasn't black.
Well, listen to me. OJ is not guilty if Kyle is not guilty. So if you think OJ is guilty, Kyle is as guilty as sin. And I think Kyle is guilty. Let me tell you, let me break it down.
They didn't prove their case in the OJ Simpson case either.
Let me tell you, let me break it down.
But I'm going to let you handle that because I was so young, so I don't know if they did or not.
Kyle should have been convicted. And let me tell my listeners why. First of all, sir, you
First of all, don't let the short haircut fool you. I am a ma'am.
Oh, I'm sorry. Sir meant for Kyle, sir.
Okay.
But if you want me to address you, ma'am.
These are my pronouns. She and ma'am. She, her, female, woman. Get it
Can you
together.
be a she? So I can
don't play
cover it all.
Just keep it woman all the way.
All the way. Okay. All right. So first of all, ma'am.
Yes.
And sir to Kyle.
Okay.
Hope you're watching Diva Court because you're guilty as sin.
No, you're not.
And the prosecution, let's start with the prosecution. Because I'm going to address everybody. I'm going to address down everybody.
Get 'em.
Let me start with the prosecution. First of all, sir, I know that you felt that you didn't have to bring it because in Wisconsin, I'm certain that you've had the experience before the exact same judge where you came with a weak case, you came with a weak trial, you came with a weak presentation, but because you had a weak defendant, weak as in either poor white person or person of color, right? Not anybody with a $2 million bond and anybody with Fox News supporting them and anybody with any media attention, that you were able to convict Sir Prosecutor. And I know that's why he was comfortable, not making sure, one, the measurement on the gun met the requirements under the statute of the law that he charged Kyle with. So let's start with that. Being in unlawful possession of that weapon. Kyle was not in unlawful possession of that weapon because the prosecutor charged him with a gun charge that requires, if it's a rifle and you're 15 years of age or older, you can carry it so long as it's not concealed.
Right.
So because Kyle is all over the video carrying it not concealed, the prosecutor should have done his job by not including that as one of the counts that he indicted. Now let me tell you what the lesson is in that indictment. That indictment went to a grand jury.
Right.
Ask yourself if this phrase, have you ever heard the phrase, a grand jury will indict a ham sandwich? Okay? Why did the grand jury indict that count, right? If they wouldn't actually indict a ham sandwich? Because if they were doing their homework, the grand jurors would have said, we can't indict that. We can't indict that because we looked at the law. Hello, that you presented, Sir Prosecutor, and we looked at the facts and we don't think it meets it.
But that exactly proves my point. The prosecutor overcharges. Like, I'm just going to throw anything. I don't read nothing. I don't look at discovery. I don't look at whether or not you're even innocent or guilty. I'm just going to throw it and we'll just see. We'll just see. I'm going to try to intimidate you to take a plea. So I'm going to give you everything.
Correct.
I do have a question. Because he purchased that gun illegally, because he made claims in open court indicating that this was his gun, and he purchased it illegally, can't the federal government charge him with?
Well, the feds can charge you, because remember that not because you're found not guilty on state charges means that the federal government cannot bring charges against you. So, in fact, in the Ahmaud Arbery case, which we are going to get to also today, they have federal charges pending against them right now while they're in the middle of trial of their state case.
Now, can't he be charged with a federal statute because he took the gun from one state?
Well, that's crazy too. He bought it in Wisconsin.
And brought it
he
to-
did not bring a gun from another state. So some of the media facts
So he
were
didn't
wrong.
So
no.
he bought it in Wisconsin.
He bought it in Wisconsin.
Okay.
So he didn't cross state lines with it. He had it already in the state.
But since it was purchased illegally,
Well, it depends on what the federal statute is as it pertains to the purchasing of the firearm.
Well, I know when I made a purchase of a weapon, one of the application said you're not purchasing this weapon for someone else.
Correct. But remember, that's usually an application you get at a gun show or at a gun store. The problem you have is he and the person who purchased it for them would be in trouble, because that's the issue you have. Is one of the things you're not allowed to do is buy a weapon for somebody who is not lawfully permitted.
I think that's the only thing he was guilty of.
well, ma'am, I said I'm dressing everybody down one by one. I haven't got to him yet. I started with the prosecutor.
Okay.
But the prosecutor failed
Yeah.
the victims' families. And they failed the victims' families because they didn't check the statute. They didn't make sure the size of the gun. Because guess what? There's so many gun statutes in Wisconsin. He could have picked another one and had facts in this melee to have supported it, but he didn't, because he was so comfortable with, oh, okay, he has a gun. This is how I do it. I always just bring a weak case, and the judge is always on my side, and the judge helps me, and I don't have to prove it. And I take it to grand jury indicts, and I go forward, and I just put up a weak case, and because I'm dealing with poor blacks or poor people of color or poor white people, then I don't have to worry about it.
I got a public defender that we have lunch together anyway.
Or I have a public defender that's not really good at it, or is overwhelmed, because they usually have 30, 40 cases going at the exact same time.
And they pleading out everything.
And their budget is not the same as the state. And that's another problem, is that if people were paying attention, they would make sure that legislation gives the budget to the public defender's office the exact same budget that's given to the prosecutor.
And that is why I know this is not the defendant that we should necessarily champion, because he still has a privilege and an advantage in the criminal realm. But this is why I don't feel bad. Like, I don't feel bad, because always the defendant is always getting the book thrown at him. All this crazy.
Well, slowly roll. There's not always. There are always people of color and always poor people, including poor white people. Don't think that the judicial system doesn't work for the wealthy.
He's a poor white. He just got.
Excuse me?
What I'm saying is, in the Kyle case, if you took away the fact that they raised money for him, technically, if you stripped all that, he was a poor white boy.
I'm not saying he's an independently wealthy or a trust fund baby. What I'm saying is his skin color gave him access. There are a lot of people out there in situations like Kyle that no one rallies behind. Nobody gets up and says, I'm going to donate or I'm going to do this. If it weren't for the racially charged and the completely divisive country that we live in right now, Kyle would not have gotten a $2 million bond. Because nobody would have put money towards it. The reason people are putting money towards it is because the people who subscribe to the Donald Trump divisiveness of Black Lives Matter, All Lives Matter, you understand they shouldn't be getting any favoritism. Those are the people who put their money behind Kyle. Stop and think now. These insurrectioners.
But then we can't blame them. We need to blame the people who's not putting money behind our people that we think are innocent.
Well, the problem is our people don't have access to that.
Well, they got access.
Did you have it?
I have a question, because it seems as if you think that if we flip it and we say Kyle is black and he's charged with killing 2 black people and shooting another black person, that the judge was still going to be on his side. Right, a big part of
Black Lives Matter. So I don't know if I would have been on his side.
I'm just saying a big reason.
His point is,
I know what you're saying.
Flip the color only.
Yeah.
And do you think the judge would not have?
I don't. Honestly, if we flip the color, the circumstances would be completely different, because I don't see black people chasing anybody with an AR-15.
Well,
so let's go there.
No. First of all, you flip the scenario too far.
I can't never flip it the way I want to.
No, why you can't just flip it to the facts?
Rub it down. Oh no.
Can you flip it to the facts?
But we flip it to the facts.
Flip it to the facts. Flip it to the facts. The facts here are what they are. Don't change them. Just change them.
But if we change the color,
No, ma'am.
Change the color is the fact.
No. All we changing is the color, because we're trying to get to a point about race. So we're only gonna change one thing.
Right, but if we have to add culture in there, because black people.
Then you create the fact that the scenario never existed.
Exactly.
But then what? Just like you're.
If it was a gang, okay, let's just say if it was gangbangers,
No.
No, not even gangbang. Not even gangbang.
Wow. Did you sit next to the judge?
Not gangbang.
If this is in
She's got her card.
Chicago,
You have your card?
and there's some blue and some white,
Excuse me, do you have
blue
your
and
card?
reds
Did you have your card with
beefing,
you?
then it'll be different. Okay. Huh?
Do you have your card?
No, that.
Do I need?
I mean, if we go,
Let me
if we gonna
punch
make
your
the
card. Do you have your
circumstances
card? You
correct.
need me to punch your card because that card needs punching. You know how you gather points on your card when you go to Bruce's?
Notice the eye roll.
When you go to Bruce's, that was a head roll.
Listen, the black guy in the video was like, "Oh, got to go." And
No,
he
no, no,
started
no.
running.
No. Yellow
Once again,
pants.
that's
I'm
a
talking about the
didn't go
white
anywhere.
man with a gun. Okay?
Right.
So what I'm saying is, you're
was-
acting like black people don't run at black people with guns.
They do.
Yeah, but both have
Okay.
guns.
No, but at the end of the day, so
Name me one case. Give me one case.
Here's what-
That
Plenty.
an
Plenty.
There are
unarmed-
tons, but they don't get aired. They don't get aired.
and
They don't get aired.
and
And that was my
I want
point
the
again.
evidence.
Had race,
I've
this had
never
this-
known a case where there's a black man who is armed being chased by black people who are unarmed, and they're chasing this person.
First of all, you must not have heard even some of the chicken stories where they threw hot grease on dude. They were chasing him with a gun when he tried to rob the chicken place, and they threw hot grease.
when you
Oh,
throw,
they chased
hold
him.
on, when you throw
Oh, no,
chicken
no, no.
in there,
He had a weapon, and
you
they
throw-
said,
when you throw chicken in there, that's a whole different ballgame. You
and
can't be out
don't
of the
forget the
facts now.
CVS.
"Hello,
I'm just saying, there's people who protect property that
Yeah, they do.
surprise me all the time.
hey, they don't play, okay? So don't go there."
All the black people that I hear, they like, oh, someone stole something from the store.
No. Not all black. There are black people. In fact, some during even when there was rioting going on in Georgia because of the Wendy shooting of the black male. Can't remember his name right now, but
Is that case still going on?
it is. It's still open against the cops, but I don't know what the new district attorney is going to do with it. But the situation is this: when they decided they were going to burn Wendy's, look here, man. There were people going out there to try to protect property. It
Yeah,
just didn't
but see,
work
there was
out.
a
The
white
Wendy's,
woman who
the
blew-
Wendy's was made out of mattress box sticks.
The
So
white
it went down. It went down so
woman
quick.
burned up Wendy's.
It went down so quick they couldn't save it.
No, I'm not, but that's not what I'm saying. I understand that black people will protect property. I understand that. But I don't see rioters.
What are you trying to say? The white man's taking so much property from the black man that we've given up on trying to
I don't
protect
see
property?
black rioters chasing after
We
AR-15.
lost so many 40 acres
But
and a mule.
again, you've missed the scenario.
I mean, I get
if
the
you
scenario.
If you change,
The judge would not have been fair.
No,
I
it's
get that. I understand
No,
that.
so
I'm
that's
with
why I
it.
can't really celebrate it because it's not.
I
like
can't, 'cause
a
it's not
judge
fair. It's
who's
not fair.
On a black guy's case, who
Correct.
I thought was guilty.
I don't
and
like
I'd be you know
I
what? At
don't
the end
like
of the day,
prosecutors, so I will. It is what
No,
it
but
is.
you like justice. And you
Except
want
for
justice.
the prosecutor in the Ahmaud Arbery case. She is not playing with the folks.
So you sound like it's racially motivated.
No, it's not racially. Well,
You
if that's
have
the
a
case,
black
then I would have said, oh, whatever happens to Kyle, it is what it is.
No. You
Why
just
don't
have a
like
problem.
crime? It is what it is. I would have said something like that. No, I wouldn't. I was actually invested, and this is why. I always watch these cases with all these black people who are getting shot and the police are shooting them and everything, and you don't watch the case. You just hear the tidbits of the news and everything, and you're like, oh, that sucks. So I wanted to be involved to know what happened and not what the news said was going to happen or thought was going to happen or interject what they thought should happen. I wanted to hear the case, witness from witness, testimony for testimony, evidence for evidence, jury charges. So that's why I watched the Kyle trial for the first time. That's probably like the first case I really just kind of just watched it. And then the Ahmaud Arbery case. Now, if the Ahmaud Arbery case comes back with a not guilty verdict, I'm going to be pissed.
No, ma'am. You would see justice getting served,
No, I
just
would
like
not.
you did, because you don't like prosecutors, and
No,
the
that's
judges
not-
are usually on their side.
not the
so it'd be
case.
great to see
That's not the case. Well, the
that
judge,
there's a not guilty.
the
in
judge
Ahmaud
is not
Arbery.
on anybody's side in this case.
That's why I said the judge in Wisconsin is a disgraced A disgrace.
Everybody's a disgrace. The prosecutor was a disgrace.
No, but you didn't let me finish dressing him down.
And the
You did
defense
not
attorney did a
let
good
me
job.
finish. No, they did not. They had a judge on their side. Let me tell you something. When you have a judge, and I can tell you that from a defense counsel's perspective, when you have a judge that is on your side and is giving you wins and is sitting at counsel table helping you go through evidence, ma'am, that's another defense counsel. That is not a judge. When you are winning, when you should not be winning, when he's excluding evidence, when he should be excluding evidence, when he's yelling at the prosecutor in front of the jurors.
I thought the juries were not in the...
Sometimes they weren't, but the jurors could see from his body language when he overruled certain objections and the prosecutor didn't call for the jurors to be
Oh,
excluded.
and he was like, hold on. What were you going to say, I guess you should be on the record, prosecutor.
No, I'm not.
You should
I'm
be-
going to stop you right there from
Hold on.
talking.
Hold on, let me stop you from talking.
And then I'm gonna let you
say
speak.
something. And then
Okay.
I'm not going to let you speak, but then I will let you speak because I don't want you
Because
to
I'm going to
speak.
cut you off.
Because I'm going
But I'll
to
let the defense speak.
Let me just speak for the defense.
Objection. I'm going to object on
But let me
that.
tell you something. In Ahmaud Arbery's case, I'm not saying he on the prosecutor's side, but he would look at the prosecutor like, you ain't got to say nothing.
Well, when you have Barney Fife trying a case,
Oh my gosh.
Attorney Golf, come on, man.
I like Attorney Golf. He throwing everything, plus he throwing the kitchen sink at the wall. He throwing civil.
To
He
be honest
throwing
with
civil law. He's throwing civil law. He had civil law in the jury charges.
It's like he is
You
trying
gotta prove liability.
No,
Liability.
he seems like he's trying to get a mistrial on purpose.
It's very good strategy.
He seems like he was trying to get ineffective assistance to counsel. So
Very
this
good
guy could get a second shot because he realized I screwed up the first shot.
Exactly. He screwed up day one.
But that's not how it works. You can't do that. You absolutely cannot do that. You have to make sure that you do your job to the best of your ability. And when you've screwed it up, you either file a motion to withdraw and let somebody else take it over and file all the things that you should have filed or did not file or should file
He
or whatever.
filed
He
everything.
filed about 300,000 filings.
Yes,
It
he
was
did.
a filing every day.
It's a filing
Right before
extravaganza.
closing arguments, he filed that he wanted
Motion
to
for
sever the trial. How are you going to sever the trial after the charge conference?
He made a good point.
What was the point?
The jury charges, like,
Wait. Motion to sever because of the jury charge?
yes. He was just like, listen, I just thought, Jan, I've been telling you about me maybe possibly doing severance, but after I seen these jury charges, I was just like, I'm just a country boy from New York. Yeah, you know.
Country from New York?
Yeah, that's what he said. Just a boy from New York. And I'm just
I'm a
like,
country boy from New York.
he might not say country boy, but he sound country, and he said he was from New York, so I just called him a country boy from
So
New
Goff
York.
is from New York? I
That's
didn't
what
hear
he
that.
said. Yeah, he said he's
He
from New
must have
York.
left when he was 1 day old.
Probably true. Hey,
There's some country places in
in New York, City.
up in
Up there.
Albany, up there,
But-
Rochester.
There.
He was just like, I just seen him. It's like, how we gonna try? I just don't know how. This ain't gonna give him no fair trial.
That is not working for me. He should have said the fair trial's not coming from you. What I like about that judge is he does not interject himself.
He showed though.
He tries to keep a poker face, even sometimes when his eyebrows go up. That's
Or his
all.
eyelids
Yeah,
go
his
down.
eyelids go. He's like,
Or his eyelids go
he
down.
might
'cause
jerk
he
a
be
little bit, and then he
sleeping.
remembers. Wait, you don't want the jurors to see that.
He just be like,
He tries his best. He tried his best. He tried his best to balance the equities
All right.
outside the courtroom for
let's
freedom
start
of
with the
speech.
prosecution.
Yeah, he does. He gives everybody a shot.
Anything from Travis McMichael.
Yeah.
Anything from Greg McMichael.
Yes.
And I'm scared to
Yes.
say this. So, Mr. Goff, do you have something? Well, yes, y'all. I don't want to be disrespectful, but the black pastors
Got to get out the
they
courtroom.
got to go. And Justin Jackson, he's still back there. I mean, I just think we need to
He
just.
said, without a mask.
Without a mask.
Look, his mask is down here, Judge. Sir, how much you're not wearing one? I know I'm not wearing one, but his is down here.
But Colonel
not wearing
Sanders in the hood, and we need to bring in the jurors, and we need to poll them. We need to poll them to see if
If they've heard any
if
drums
they heard
outside
anything, because they out there with the coffins
and the lynching.
and the lynching. This is
The
a modern day
modern-day
lynching.
A modern day
It's a
lynching.
modern day lynching, y'all.
I mean, are we not gonna do something?
We
about
ain't
it?
gonna do
I need a
nothing about
mistrial, Judge. I need a
Just
mistrial.
give me a mistrial.
That man
Listen,
is
I told told you I was gonna ask for severance, but I didn't
I was.
because I was trying to be
So
respectful.
you're untimely, sir.
Okay. So you're not gonna let me argue it?
Oh, I'm gonna let you argue it, but I just want to let you know it's untimely. So go ahead and argue for the record, and I find it's untimely and it's denied.
Go. Well, you could just look at the motion that I
gotta-
filed this morning.
You got another one? How many you gonna file, sir? I'm gonna file one after the verdict.
Listen, I was
Motion for a better verdict.
when the prosecutor had her documents and it was all tabbed from the CAD report and the all the calls from 911 calls, right? All I heard in my head was, those are voluminous documents. This is against the law because it's too much. This is voluminous. Like, I was thinking, Martin, no objection, like voluminous documents.
Unbelievable. But I'm gonna get back to your boy Kyle because we switched and we weren't supposed to.
we
Not
did.
yet.
Let's go, Brandon.
I dressed down the prosecutor. You didn't let me finish, but that's okay. He didn't do a good job.
He didn't do
I'm
a
very
good job.
disappointed. The victim's family should be very unhappy with you. Their sons were gunned down, and you put together a Peanuts case, a Charlie Brown Peanuts case for Thanksgiving. He did a Thanksgiving Charlie Brown.
I feel like,
Really? Yeah, that's his case. That was his case.
It was weak.
Now let's get to the judge. I'm
Okay.
sorry, the third juror. Sorry, the 13th juror.
Okay.
Juror number
The foreman.
13, judge.
I like
the
him.
foreman. The person
such a
who
character.
led the jurors to the verdict, and they just went ahead and gave him what he asked for. His conduct was unprofessional. He was hyper-focused on himself, almost to a Trump level. He was complaining about how CNN was covering him in the news. He was complaining about how people were talking about his prior rulings in his case, and it was 10 years ago, and I can't believe they're still talking about
back
that.
in
10 years ago.
1974, it
Why
might
are
have
you
been
doing that?
1975.
Exactly.
I was
Not
a prosecutor.
right at all, sir. Stay out the case. Your objections were overruled when they should not have been. Your objections were sustained when they should not have been. It was clear you were biased against the
I think the
prosecution.
defense made a
The
great argument.
prosecution had an order that they violated, and you dressed the prosecutor down. The next day, the defense violated an order, and you said, "I'm gonna allow it."
So you know
So
what?
biased judges make bad outcomes.
I was told that anytime you want to testify, you got to start at the beginning.
Once upon a time, the
Listen,
judge
when the
was
prosecutor
biased.
talked about the fact that the defendant talked he didn't talk, you know what I'm saying? He talked about his freedom of not having
No.
to.
Prosecutor
Fifth
did
Amendment?
make some gawks.
Egregious.
Gawks by saying you didn't say that before. That's the only part that was.
Oh,
inappropriate.
he was leaning harder than that.
No. He did say that. He said you didn't say that before today. He wasn't supposed to do that
Right,
because
he was leaning harder
it's
than
the
that.
inference that you invoke your right to remain silent, and you have that right until you waive it. And when do you waive it? When you took the stand. So he can talk about, sir, this is the first time you've ever said that. He can say
he
it like
pushed it a
that
little bit harder.
But he was like, you never said that before today.
Yeah.
And that's where it's a thin line. You can't cross that line.
And he crossed it.
And it's clear that whether he crossed it or not, the judge probably was going to overturn the verdict with a J&OV. If he had found guilty, he would have said, I'm going to do a J&OV, judgment notwithstanding the verdict.
Yeah.
And he was going to say that something happened, or he was going to grant a mistrial, and he was going to grant it with prejudice. You notice how he left that open? Because it was his escape hatch. He felt like if the prosecutor didn't do their job, and these jurors do like they normally do when I have a person of color or a poor white person, then they will still convict. And if they do, I'm going to leave that motion open so I can use it to save this young man, because I like Chubby Cheeks. I like Chubby Cheeks who's not afraid. You know what really upset me about Kyle is I think his whole nervousness and shaking is fake. I think it was fake when he took the stand. I think it was fake
I
when he
think it
heard the
was
verdict.
completely real.
Let me tell you something. Let me tell you why I think it was fake. Because I didn't see any of it on the video. If he was that nervous, he would have been like this with the gun.
No.
No, I didn't see any of that shaking. I didn't see any of that faking. And you can keep it with your bacon.
I think
Thank you.
I think he was in his element.
What is his element? Run out and tell black people I'm pointing a gun at you? And then get on the stand and say I was lying. I really wasn't pointing it at him. I wasn't provoking him. I just told him that.
I think he was probably scared. He's 17. Like, he's facing, like, life in prison.
Why do
Who's
you
gonna
see
be
him as a
scared?
17-year-old boy instead of a 17-year-old man? Because he's white?
know you did not go there.
Absolutely.
If he was black, I would still be
Gobble
like,
gobble Thanksgiving. Let's roll. Is that why you think you can see him? Do you know that you as a black female can have implicit bias against your own people?
That's not an evidence.
Do you realize
That's not an evidence. If
that
he was
black
if
people
he was a little,
can have implicit bias
understand
against
that,
themselves?
but-
Do you know how many black female judges I have been before, and I'm looking at her like, do you need a mirror,
what I'm saying is,
sister? Do
what
you
I'm
not
saying
have
is,
black
if he was
children?
a black boy, I would say the same thing.
No, you would.
How you gonna tell me?
Because there are plenty of black cases that made the media that you have said, well, he shouldn't have been.
Did we talk about
He
it on
sh-
Diva
he sh-
Court?
No, because,
right, so I don't
because-
believe you.
Because what? It didn't make national attention because nobody cares. You're like, oh, Marsha, he shouldn't have been doing that.
I
He
was
he
team hands up, don't shoot. I was team hands up, don't shoot. I was team oh boy,
I
what is
think
that?
the only reason
The one
you're
that was on
seeing
the
him
back.
as a baby,
No.
as a little
George
chubby
Floyd,
cheeks.
I was team George Floyd, and he was not even close to a baby.
What did it take for George? 9 minutes and 29 seconds.
It didn't take me
with
that
a
long.
cop on his
It
neck
didn't take me that long.
with the man going.
It took me.
Floyd had to use his knuckles to
but-
take his last
Listen,
breath
it
before
took
we
me
said,
when Floyd
"Oh, that's
said-
inappropriate."
When Floyd sat in that car and then run away because he did not know he committed any crime, if there was a crime committed, because we still don't know. That's what it took me to be like, this man don't even know what's going on. He don't think he's guilty of no crime, because if you're out there trying to get this money right quick, gotta go. Like when I'm doing my fake ID, gotta go. You know what I'm
I think Kyle is guilty of sin,
saying? Okay.
and you know what? Because he got away with
Cause you're racist.
because he got away with it.
You're a racist
Because he
black
got away
woman,
with it.
but black women can't be racist, so you're prejudiced. Yeah, you're prejudiced. You can't
I
be racist
think
because you're black.
there are too many black people that have implicit bias against themselves. And that's why I'm going to change topics just for a little bit. You find that black males have to run out and marry a white woman so they can belong and feel like they are going in circles and they have arrived. And you notice that as soon as they get the money, when they're selling CDs out the trunk of their car, they can find a sister to help take care of them. But as soon as they get a check with six
Took this
figures
to a whole nother level.
and 7 figures,
Listen,
the only reason Kyle looked like a chubby cheeks baby to you because he's white.
no, it's not. It's because he fat in the face. That's why he looked.
It's because he got chubby cheeks.
Right, 'cause he fat in the
Let me
face.
tell you something, because he got chubby white cheeks.
He got it.
But let me tell you something. Them chubby white cheeks that he got in his pants
I'm
gonna
sorry
get
that-
kicked in the butt.
let me
You
tell
know
you
why?
something.
Because he thinks he got away
Well,
with
guess
it.
what? He's gonna go to
get
jail
empowered.
again.
Oh, I'm sorry. No, he's gonna be president of the United States, and he's gonna type Kofifi.
I'm sorry that black boys have
Give
very
him a few
strong
more
jaw
years.
muscles.
When can he become
chiseled
president?
bone structures.
When is
very
he gonna
masculine.
be 40? He's got to be 40 to be
manly.
president.
Huh? We
He's
ain't
got to be
we talking
40.
about two different
Give him
things.
30-something years, he'll be president. Kyle for president.
I'm not voting for Kyle.
Senators want to give
You
him.
voted for Joe Biden. Get out of here.
Are you serious?
I'm dead serious.
Did
He
you
was
not
locked
hear-
him up. He was like, you know how many black people he done locked up, and you voted for Joe Biden. Oh my God.
Unlike your judge, he asked for repentance. He repented and he said, "I'm sorry."
Because he wanted you to vote for him, and you fell for the
No,
okey
he
doke.
said, "Can I be redeemed?" I
He
did it.
said, hey, black, if you don't vote for me, you're whack. And you voted for him.
And he was right. He
so
said,
whack. Hey, blacks,
black,
if you don't
let me
vote for
tell you
me,
something.
you whack.
It's
Let's
better
go,
than
Brandon.
it's better than my African Americans over there. Huh? From your president, my N-word is what he should have said. Hey, my N-word
Big
over
on the
there.
blacks.
My African Americans, y'all gonna vote for me? What other choice do you have? Huh?
What other choice?
That's what Trump said.
Listen,
Y'all ain't got no other
your
choice.
vote matters.
No, Trump said you don't have no choice. You might as well vote for me.
Your vote matters. Your vote
You forgot that?
matters. Your
You
vote
forgot that.
matters. So your lack of voting also matters, because if enough black people was like, F this system and didn't vote, then that keeps us open for someone. There's a vessel
Let
open.
me tell you
For
what.
someone to come in and be like, you know what? I
me
want
tell
them
you
to
what the
vote for
problem
us, so we have to step our game up. But they keep selling you the same nonsense year after year after year. And y'all just, we gonna vote.
And guess what?
We voting Democrat.
The
Even though they
jurors-
throwing us in jail.
The jurors sold you that crap and you bought it for
What
chubby
jurors?
cheeks. The Kyle
Chubby cheeks.
Rittenhouse. You bought the crap the jurors sold you. You bought it. Oh, he's 17.
I bought the Kyle just like you bought the Joe. You want to drink to that?
No.
I bought Kyle and you voted for Joe.
Even
Same
the
problem.
president.
It's the same problem. A white man
disappointed.
said with a straight face, "Ooh, I didn't mean to say that, even though I've been saying racist stuff for years. But now that I want you to vote for me, I apologize." And you was like, "You know what? I believe you, Mr. White Man."
I'll forgive you, Mr. White
I
Man.
forgive you, Mr.
Juneteenth
White
is on the
Man.
calendar and it wasn't
At
before you
least
were president.
in my situation, the prosecutors.
To be honest with you,
What?
to be honest with you,
Did we get something else black?
Obama didn't give us Juneteenth.
You said, I know you're not on national TV saying, national podcast, you see, saying that Joe Biden gave us June 16th.
I didn't get it from President Obama.
It's not the 16th.
Oh, Juneteenth.
Yes.
So you telling
Do
me
you even
Joe
know what date it
Biden?
is?
You might as well just say Joe Biden made up the
Do you
name
know
too,
what
huh?
date it is?
Oh my gosh, I cannot believe you giving this white man all this credit.
Did it come from Obama?
So it came from Joe Biden.
Did it come from Obama's
So he
presidency?
must have made it up too.
Did it come from Obama's presidency?
Just like Al Gore made up the
It
internet.
did not. Okay?
Oh my gosh.
So,
Oh,
I will
stop the
my
presses, y'all.
small victories.
Stop the
Anyway, I
presses.
get them. Kyle is guilty. Guilty, guilty, guilty. And they should have
Well,
found him
according
guilty.
to the law, he's innocent.
No,
Innocent.
according to the judge, he's innocent. The law
According to the
says
jurors.
he's guilty. The
According
judge
to the
said
jurors.
he's innocent.
According to the fact that double jeopardy is attached.
Well, you know, the judge is part of the
And according to what Dana said last week.
No, you said
Got
if you run up, you gun up. That's what it says.
That's what
But
I-
let me tell you what you don't try. Okay?
Get gunna.
If you're a black guy, don't try.
Don't try. You better fly.
If you're a black guy, don't try.
No, if you're a black guy, you're gonna fry.
So don't try. Okay?
Bye-bye.
Don't do it. Don't follow Kyle because
Don't.
your chubby cheeks are not white.
Don't do it. I agree. I'm not debating that, but at the end of the day, the prosecution did not prove his case.
Let me tell you
Period. Let me tell you.
He proved this case in the same way he's been proving it the last
me
19
tell you,
or 20 years.
old girl
He's been
from
trying
Cobb
cases
County-
with this judge.
Old girl from Cobb County, the girl I don't know how to pronounce her last name, but she is from Cobb County. She ain't no joke. All I'm saying is if she don't win her case,
So what are you saying? Women do it better?
you like that. I was watching what? Go ahead and drop it.
I was ready to drink to that.
Oh, we can drink that.
Hey.
Boop. She
You
needs to
looked
hold a whole class.
You looked a little thirsty.
She needs to hold a whole class because she was straight killer.
No, here's the thing. She also has a judge who's not yelling at her for doing her job and is not allowing in evidence
I'm not
for
saying-
the defense
I'm not saying
that they're not allowed to have in.
I'm not-
Let me tell you something. With Kyle Rittenhouse's judge, they would have been able to bring in Ahmaud Arbery's criminal history. They would have been able to bring in Ahmaud Arbery's mental health history. They would have been able to say that Ahmaud Arbery was trying to carjack Roddy Bryant.
Oh, they are saying that.
No, they're not. Because the judge said you will not
He
say that.
said something in the closing about it.
No. In his closing, he was talking about in the video where you could see. He can talk about facts in the video. So the facts in the video is that Ahmaud is running from the vehicle, running towards the vehicle, or bumping on the vehicle. He can say that. But he can't say, well, he was doing that because he was crazy. And we shot him because he was mentally ill. Because do you notice how they were
saying
slick?
something wrong with him.
No. We are pivoting your listeners. We just want to let our listeners know that Kyle is guilty and we've moved on from his guilt, and that we're now on robbery.
No, he's not. Listen, you're going to get people riled up. They have to watch the case. If you watch the case, you will understand why
the video is guilty.
Not guilty.
He had no business being out there. He provoked the individuals. The law said if you provoke, you can't use self-defense.
He was guilty
and he
of
provoked,
carrying
and then he
a gun.
wanted to use self-defense to say he was scared. One thing I didn't see him shaking on is that video. So all you shaking and faking, you're faking.
How you know he wasn't shaking? You wasn't that close
I
up to
saw
him.
the video. And he was lying through all of it. He was driving without a license, was his test. That boy breaks all the laws. He was driving without a license.
Well, the prosecutor
He bought
should
the
have charged
weapon
him for that. He should have charged him. He didn't charge him.
Oh, really? Oh, really?
Really?
Okay. Well, we're moving on from guilty Kyle.
No, watch the case. You're going to get these people all riled
I need them riled up. I need them riled up.
Watch the case.
Yeah, watch this guilty case. Now, we just transitioned into Ahmaud Arbery.
Yes.
Your prosecutor is doing a good job.
She's
but let me tell
killing
you why she can look like she's doing a good job. Because she is doing it. Because a judge is not interfering nor interjecting himself. Do you know that judge didn't tell not one story about his history and the cases he ruled on? Do you think that judge is not seeing himself being spoken of on social media just like how the Kyle Rittenhouse judge is
Oh,
seeing
yeah.
himself
It's
being
all
spoken
on YouTube comments. They're
of?
like,
Trust me. And he's ignoring every last one of them.
no. They're like, I wish this judge was in the Kyle Rittenhouse case because this judge is good.
Well,
That's what
every
they're saying.
time he makes a ruling and they talk about what's going on outside the courthouse, he says, look here, I can't talk about what's going on outside because I haven't been paying any attention to it. But my job is to do justice on the inside of
But
it.
Your Honor, they got them coffins.
For the coffins, I don't know anything about them because I didn't see any. And I have my people watching the jurors, and it's my understanding based on my people who are watching the jurors that there's no comment so far that the jurors are seeing anything. One thing you have to be careful of as a judge too is that you don't keep doing what the defense is asking you to do to create a mistrial yourself. Here's what you don't want to do. Your jurors don't know nothing about it, and now you're polling them. Let me ask y'all a question. Did y'all ever about them
Right.
coffins outside?
The coffins with
The
the
coffins with
names
the
on
defendant's
them.
names on this
Names
one.
on- that
Did
could
y'all
be
see
you.
that?
That
Who
could be
does
you.
that? You dummy, you don't do that. Now they were trying to goad him into doing that,
Yeah.
but the problem is he's smart enough to know don't engage. Don't know anything about coffins outside. Don't know anything about names on the
I
coffin.
told my
And
sheriff.
I told my sheriff to watch the jurors, find out from the jurors. But if they're not saying anything to me, I'm not saying.
And I'm not
anything
about to
them.
create a fear.
Hey, I'm
Just like your clients who created.
hello.
This
You
fear.
invited the 100 black pastors, sir, and they came.
Oh, I'm talking about like your clients created this atmosphere where you putting someone else at risk of getting shot because you brought shotgun.
No, but not even the client putting them. Let's pass that. Let's get to the courtroom where you, the lawyer, are putting your clients at risk as it pertains to
That's
inviting black pastors. Who get up and say this is a modern day lynching? Who gets up and say this case is not about race, but I don't want any black pastors?
No black pastors.
No black pastors in this courtroom. Are you serious, sir? Are you serious?
Wow.
That's what we're doing. And now you want judge? I'm not sure because black pastors are here.
Not only are the black pastors, the Black Panthers. I think they are
Yeah.
Black Panthers.
We're gonna panther
They
them
got
anyway.
guns.
They could be white. We don't call them black panters.
Wait, no people can bring guns.
Guns, yes,
but
to
they-
chase an unarmed man, but I don't want those guns outside.
Oh, it's so
That's how we get
hypocritical.
gun control in this country, you know. I need black men to get armed.
Yeah.
On Diva Corp, arm yourself. Arm yourself legally.
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 The
Arm
term is-
yourself legally.
Yes.
Go to your gun show, show your name, your license, not somebody else like Kyle did, Rittenhouse. Get somebody else to purchase a firearm for. Don't do that. Purchase your firearms legally and start carrying them openly.
Yeah.
Carry
No,
'em.
wait. No, it's two things. You gotta.
If you're gonna
buy it,
conceal,
and
no.
then you gotta,
If you're gonna
yeah,
conceal,
keep going.
get your concealed permit.
Yes, you
If
do.
you carry it open, you can do like
Yeah,
Kyle.
the rifle. In Georgia, the law is that if you can't conceal it, you can carry it openly. But
Carry
you
it open.
still have to,
carry it open.
You still have to have a.
You can't be a
carrier's permit.
convicted felon.
You
can't
still
be
have to have a carrier's permit to carry a
open
rifle.
carry. You don't.
No,
Open
in
carry.
Georgia we don't have open carry in Georgia.
Well, here's the thing. I'm talking about across the country now. I don't want just Georgia.
Oh, okay.
I don't want just Georgia because I hope our listeners are listening to us in every state.
That's
If your state allows you to carry black men openly and you don't have a permit and you're not a convicted felon, go carry. Carrie, let's get some new laws passed.
Please make sure you read your laws first.
But go see a
Before you-
lawyer too. A lot of them do free legal advice.
Yeah.
Go look it up on your website. Pull up the statute. Get access to
Let me tell you something.
Go to a law library in
Let me tell you something. If you go to the gun shop, they love to tell you the laws. It's like, yeah, because in here you can do da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da, and they have it down pat.
Because
and
they know because they're
they know
selling
the
it.
laws.
They're selling it.
And you don't sign up for the NRA because they're not as good as they used to be. So you need to sign up for the Georgia.
They know what's going on. They have to because it's their product.
Yeah.
They're selling weapons and they need to know. But my point is the prosecution is doing a good job because the judge is allowing her to do her job. The judge is not interjecting.
And she's presenting great evidence.
Well, the thing about presentation of evidence is you have to make sure that it's simplified. Because you're dealing with people that are having a lot of noise coming at them. Noise is coming from the internet. It's coming from Twitter. It's coming from Google. It's everywhere. So, and it's 24 hours. It never stops. You understand what I'm saying? It never sleeps. So because of that, you want to simplify it so that your jurors are like, oh, okay. So that's what the law says. Oh, okay. So these are the facts that I'm looking for. Oh, okay. Perfect. What I didn't like in the closing argument today was defense counsel Mrs. Hogue got up and said, a teenager with a hat. He might have been a great boy when he was coming up. And a mother's love would not be able to see that once he became an adult, he's not the person who a mother sees him to be.
She was dog whistling too.
Hey, yes, she did.
She
That
also
wasn't dog
said,
whistling. That was elephant whistling.
She also said, she was like, why shouldn't we be able to defend our neighborhoods?
Because it's not his.
That's how she.
Although
that's
his
how-
mother.
What was he doing? He had no business being there. I don't know what I'm trying to say, right?
That really is. That really is. And then she
No
would say,
business being
I, over everybody else in this room, more than anybody else in this room, knows that it's a bad thing to say.
All my
But
daddy.
I'm
she
proud to say it.
said, all my daddy wanted to do was knit blankets, make macaroni and cheese and casserole,
And live in a safe
and
neighborhood.
live in a safe neighborhood.
And it's safe when blacks are gunned down. Okay?
Run up, get
Gun
gun up.
No, run away, get gunned anyway.
Get gun anyway. We shouldn't be laughing at that.
Oh, that's not funny.
It's not funny.
The rhyme is funny, but not the act.
Not the act.
That's right. On Diva Court, we're not celebrating death. We're celebrating life.
That is true.
Maud Aubrey, your
Facts
life
and evidence.
shall be celebrated
Yeah.
because a conviction we are praying.
So the only
around the
issue that
corner.
when I was watching it, when the defense attorney, the closing one, Mr. Goff, who we call Barney Fife, if you
Yes.
guys need to know, at the end, I didn't get to finish all of it, but closer to the
Well,
end.
it's not done yet. We got a part 2.
I'm talking about for his.
For his
testimony.
closing.
His closing.
Okay.
Yeah, he was like when they were doing jury charges, not in his closing, but when they were doing jury charges, he offered up 3 lesser offenses. He offered up like reckless driving, some other traffic offense, and something else that had to do with like maybe reckless endangerment. So in my head, I'm like, well, why is he offering up other charges? So can you explain that?
Well, the reason why he's trying to offer those is because he's prayerful that if all we have is serious charges on the table and it sounds like my guy is going to go down and the jurors might want to convict him of something, let me give them something that's a misdemeanor that's not going to keep my client in prison forever.
Okay.
That's why you always ask for lesser included charges.
Okay.
Some statutes come with a lesser included that you say to the jurors in the charge, hey, if you don't find that the facts meet A, then find that they meet B. If you don't find they meet B, find they meet C. So that's why you have first degree, second degree, third degree. You have degrees.
Okay, so I have another question. So when you indict someone, you do the indictment and you have all the charges you can defend against, but then when you do jury charges, you can add more charges.
Yes, because remember, in a statute, when you indict, you might indict the jurors under 91115A, right? You might indict the defendant under 91115A. But when you get to trial, evidence comes in that might not meet the level for A, and the law says now the prosecution in its jury charge can say there's evidence that meets B.
Okay.
So, Judge, I'm going to ask you to charge them on B. I'm still moving forward on A, but just in case the jury finds the facts don't fit A, I'm asking you to charge them not just on A, but on B.
Can you go higher? Like, what if the crime was worse than you thought? Like, first he killed him, then he ate him. Like, can you? I don't know. I'm just saying, like,
Jeffrey Dahmer.
like, can you go and then you dispose of the body in a
If you have those facts, trust me,
you can go higher.
Rest assured, ain't no prosecutor gonna indict you for less.
Okay, so you can
They
go higher.
always err on the side of higher, and that's why you'll find people complaining about cases being overcharged because they always go over.
What about in the jury charges that you didn't find this out until like a witness came on the stand and said something, and then
No, you have a problem.
so
You have a
so
problem.
if you have during juror charges,
Yeah.
you can't go higher than the highest one that you already have.
No, because you can't come in and charge somebody with involuntary manslaughter and at trial go, you know what, I changed my mind. This is like murder.
Okay, so what is involuntary manslaughter, but then some evidence comes out and you find out that it was like premeditated murder?
Then you didn't do your investigation.
Oh,
You
so you
indicted a
can't.
case. No, you indicted a case that you didn't know what the facts were.
Okay, so you can't.
You're
go higher.
supposed to gather evidence before you indict.
Okay.
And your investigators at your DA's office, and you're supposed to go out.
So
look
let
at
me give you an
witnesses.
example. Right,
Here we
I'm
go.
driving this.
Here we go.
I'm driving the car, right, and I see this person, and I hit them. You know what I'm saying? And come to find out, it was my boyfriend from like 5 years ago that cheated on me. And I told my homegirl, my sister, and under pressure, it came out that I was on the stand that I was actually really trying to hit him.
Well, guess what?
Charge
When you
you
got
with
arrested,
involuntary
I would have charged you with malice murder.
But you didn't know this until it came out on the stand.
No. When I heard that was your boyfriend from 5 years
But
ago.
you didn't know though.
No. I would have to know the relationship with the
Okay.
victim before I go to a grand jury. So, who is this guy? Does she know him? How
Okay.
does she know him? That's part of the investigation that
But what if it
prosecutors.
doesn't come out until trial?
How's it gonna be hidden? His family is gonna tell me that's his.
What if I was like cheating with
What,
him
he's
and
an
he was
orphan?
married?
What if he's an orphan
what
that
if he
just
was-
flew to the
I'm-
country
as I keep
from
changing this,
Uzbekistan?
What if he was married and I was cheating with him and like nobody knew who I was except for my people, but they got on the stand and said, "Oh yeah, you know, it came out because they got all the
You
pressure."
can't come back. You can't
Okay, so
come
I
back.
can get off with involuntary.
But what I'm
manslaughter.
saying to you is, it's not happening. The fact
Perfect
that,
crime.
The fact that you
Traffic ticket.
you have no, the fact that there's a relationship with that person, whether that was your brother, your half brother, your stepsister, remember that twins have been charged and convicted of killing the other twin. You understand? I don't exclude malice murder just because of the.
I'm just saying you don't know though. Like you don't know that he my
I
secret
am
boyfriend
going
from back
to
in the day.
investigate what's going on. I'm going to look for text messages between
I
you
switched
and
my
him.
phone up.
I'm going to call T-Mobile. I'm going to call all your cell phone carriers. I'm going to try to figure out how many phone numbers you've ever used. I'm going to go through
It
his
was a
phone.
burner phone.
Well, I'm going to use his phone. 'Cause his phone is in his possession and
We both had burner phones.
he used emails. And I'm going to check his email address. And he was emailing you. You understand? And I can make
He
the
ate
connection.
turkey and liked to fall asleep.
Yeah. I'm going to find out
Okay.
that something is going on. Because remember, a lot of times when even there's a case where a
But let's
husband.
be honest. They not doing that much.
No, they do it. Remember, sometimes
That
people-
much
10
investigation.
years. You never watch Dateline NBC and see somebody charged 10 years later and how upset the wife's family was and didn't find out about the relationship until,
I'm just saying,
years
it's
later.
been a lot of cases that we get discovery and we like, really? This is whack.
Yeah, but that's the thing is, a lot of the cases on the lower level, that's what I'm telling you, the lower level cases is where it's actually prosecutors are not really doing their jobs and the
Okay.
conviction rate shouldn't be as high as it is, but for the bias.
Okay.
If it weren't for the bias against black men and black people and people of color and poor white people, these conviction rates would not be as high
Yeah.
as they are, but they're that way because judges play 13th juror. They play it all the time.
Even before they get there, they done plead out because they smoke weed 3 days out of the week one time, and then they didn't want to take the charge. So I'll just take this 2 years.
No.
on
People
probation.
plead because Diva. People plead
'Cause they scared.
because of the fear
Intimidation.
of the unjust system. Judges need to we need to pass law that says judges cannot sentence you harsher after, and I've said this on Diva Court before.
You have said it.
After you have turned down a plea offer. Because if the case was serious enough for a probation, if I pled, it should not be higher than probation after I exercise my constitutional right to a fair trial.
Right.
That's a problem. You should not be able to say to me, oh, you don't want to plea today? Okay, try this case if you want to, because if you're convicted, you're getting life.
And isn't there a motions hearing? I'm not exactly sure what it's called, but when the prosecutor presents the lower charges and you have that time to determine whether or not you want to take it, because once you decide you don't want to on the record.
No, you're not going to get lower charges. Sometimes the prosecution say they charge you with 5 things.
Yeah.
And they say, I'm willing to dismiss 3 of them if you plead to 2 of them.
Right.
At that point, you will have the opportunity for the prosecutor to say, I'm going to no pros the 3.
Right.
If you plead to the 2. Right. People will say, I'll plead to the 2 because now I don't have to go to prison.
What about that motion? What is that? You know, there's like that motions hearing. We had that case where there was a motions hearing where we told you that you could take these plea, but if you don't take it now, when we go to trial, you don't.
It's called a Lafryer hearing.
Lafryer, yeah.
So a Lafryer hearing under the state of Georgia, the Lafryer hearing, it says that a prosecutor and the judge can put on the record what the last offer was to the defendant. So a Lafryer hearing, you'll show up and the judge will say, hey, do you realize the state is offering 10 years probation? Yes. And you don't want that probation? No, I don't want that. And you are aware that if you go to trial, and this is how they guise it or disguise it, is really intellectually dishonest. Here's what they do. You know that if you go to trial, the court is going to, I don't know what the evidence is right now. I don't know.
I don't know.
I haven't talked to the prosecutor. But if you go to trial and I hear all the evidence about you, I'm going to use it. I'm not going to give you probation now because I've heard too much to give you probation. And I, as the judge, are going to have the discretion. I'm going to have the discretion to sentence you to prison time because of what I heard. So remember now, before I hear the evidence, you might want to take this deal. That to me,
isn't that intimidation?
Of course, that's intimidation. And they don't call it that. Has anybody threatened you, coerced you?
Yeah, there's motions hearing that I'm at.
I'm
doing
this is a fire hearing where you browbeating me to tell me.
You should make that into case law, since you are a case law maker now.
Oh, Jesus.
Case law maker.
Are we going to make case law here? Or are we going to make Thanksgiving?
Well, are you ready to go gobble eat that turkey?
Really? That turkey?
You ready?
Did my president pardon one? Yes,
no president.
Did. But the turkey he didn't pardon is the one the jurors pardoned in the Kyle Rittenhouse case. That turkey is guilty. And that's Thanksgiving episode
Thanksgiving
of Diva
and
Court.
my birthday, y'all.
It's your birthday.
Coming up next Sunday.
How we celebrate a birthday that's not here yet?
It's because
pre-celebration. We celebrating the month.
We're going on hiatus until Christmas.
Okay. Well,
Yeah.
celebrate your birthday.
It's
So
birthday.
this is for the turkey and the birthday. Some divas sip, some divas gulp.
And one is for ladies, 2 is for you.
Yeah, you can't say it. Do not forget to look for our episodes each Wednesday.
Yes.
Well, it is. We're one episode away from the end of the season.
We're one episode away from the end of the season.
Yes.
Wow, it
Yes.
went fast, didn't it?
It did go fast.
Oh my goodness.
Yes, it did.
Season 1 is almost over.
Juju on that beat. I hope you don't miss us.
Don't miss us, Juju. We're going to push out shorts for you every
Yes.
week while we're on hiatus.
Push it real good.
So, we got one more episode, Juju, before the season ends.
Yes.
But don't worry, because as soon as the year begins, we'll be back up and running with new material
Oop, there it
for
is.
Diva Court.
Yes.
But don't forget to look for our episodes every Wednesday until hiatus.
Yes.
And then during hiatus, look for our shorts. Don't stop looking, because you'll be able to get some
They'll look for you too.
They will.
Yeah.
They will. But find us on Spotify,
Spotify.
Apple Podcasts,
Apple.
and Google Podcasts.
Google.
I thought I was gonna get a turkey, but I guess the turkey's all eaten. Okay, there's my turkey.
It's gone.
And as we say here on Diva Court each week,
We'll drink to that.
we'll drink to that. Happy birthday to Diva!
Hey, it's my birthday. It's my birthday. It's my birthday.
Okay.
Really?
Bacardi like
I
it's
can't
her
celebrate my birthday.
Drink Bacardi like it's her birthday. Okay, I can't sing anymore because I don't want to pay 50.
You don't want
I'm
to
not paying 50. Not
Happy-
cents nor dollars.
Oh, you know he'll come. He come forever.